We're very happy to have our next guest join us. Their debut album is self-titled, comes out May 12th. Please welcome the fine gentlemen of Dreamcar.
Thank you, Pete.
We have Davey, Tony, Adrian, and Tom. Welcome back to San Francisco.
Hey. Thank you.
I want to first start off with the fact that it's been eons since three of the guys have been right here at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco, right?
22 years.
22.
Since we played this room.
Wow. I thought it might have been a little sooner than that, but...
And the last time we played here, someone jumped from the balcony into the audience.
And did they survive?
Do not know.
And Davey, I think you were here last as Black Audio.
That's the only time I've ever performed officially at the Great American Music Hall.
Yeah.
Though I spent many fantastic nights here.
When this first started out as an idea back in 2014, even before you brought Davey on or even had an inkling like maybe we should talk, what was the semblance or mindset in terms of let's start making something? Was it, Adrian, I want to sing, or Adrian, I'm going to play guitar, or...
Nobody wants me to sing. Nobody should have to hear that. But
Adrian can play guitar though.
I did start to learn how to do that a little bit, which is really challenging and fun. But you know, Tom and Tony and I have been playing together since we were, late teens, and we're like a glove, and we want to keep making music together. And so, when No Doubt's not working, we still want to be playing music, and we continue to do that from time to time.
I've been one of the fortunate to hear the album in its entirety. After I Confess, just starts off the album so strongly, I feel, and congratulations on the album, by the way. But then later on the album, other tracks sound a little bit different, maybe less synth heavy and those kind of things. Was that on purpose, or was that, again, just kind of what happened?
We wrote 20 or so songs. How many songs did we write, you guys?
Yeah. 25, something like that.
And there were, a few versions of the album that could have been created, but we feel that there's a great continuity to the album, despite each song having an individuality to it. That again wasn't something we planned on because we were just writing. We would write, and the boys would create music, and I'd hear it, and it would inspire me to go one direction or another with the top line, and the lyrics would come, and each song in a way informed the next. As certain moments became filled, we naturally moved to other moments, being as we had fulfilled one aspect that we weren't necessarily striving towards in the first place, but once we had it, we knew we liked it, so that naturally pushes us to do something more.
The thing is, though, as we were making this record, there was not a lot of making references verbally to anything. It feels like we just made the music without speaking.
Yeah, it was very organic, and we weren't. A lot of the references that people are hearing, the influences that people are hearing, are nothing that we actually spoke of or were striving towards when we were writing the record. As Tom said, they naturally came out, and would be a matter of. There were many occasions I remember during the writing process and the demoing process at Tom's house in his studio specifically, where we'd lay something down, and afterward I would say, who is that? This part reminds me of someone, and someone else would say, yeah, I think it reminds me of someone too, but it was never our intention, and it did. There are reminiscent parts, but it was just what we created. It was something that just came out.
The beautiful thing about when we were making this record, we were writing this record, nobody else knew that we were doing this. It was just between the four of us getting in a room, creating music together. So there were no expectations. It was really a free flow of ideas and creativity, and that's what you hear on the record, because at no point did we ever change direction from that. It just kept going.
We are Dreamcar.
Older musicians, songwriters, artists will say that over the course of time, as they're making music, they're trying to get back to what inspired them when they were a kid, when they first heard music, and kind of those formidable years of their life. Is Dreamcar that for you guys?
You stumped us.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because as we were saying, it was such an organic writing process for us because there was no intention. There wasn't as we said, there wasn't a specific sound we were looking for, but as Tom was saying, because we were writing in isolation and we were writing without any sort of collective pre-existing identity or perception of what we were doing, or even a recognition that we were doing anything, that spark of youthful inspiration when you've never written before was ignited by way of that isolation and that purity of the writing process and that lack of history, which allowed us to have it's that freedom that we were talking about before that allows you to tap into that youthful vigor of writing for the first time, because for us it was creating for the first time in this group.
Last question for Davey. You really threw us for a loop this year. 2017, I declared the year of Havok. AFI Blood album.
Yep.
Material by Black Audio came out in the fall.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on with Extremists.
Okay.
Is there another band that you're going to be involved in later this year that we should be aware of?
Ramones X.
Ramones X.
Yes, Ramones X is a straight edge band that plays only Ramones songs. Not kidding. I can never tell. Members of Extremists, I know, but I'm actually not kidding. No, members of Extremists, members of Foundation, yeah, Ramones X, not kidding. And my book should be out this year, the second one. First one's out.
You truly are a vampire.
It's not true.
We should have like a Davey Fest and have a festival where it's just all Davey's other bands.
Right. That's what.
Sorry, man.
And then a book signing. And then a book signing.
And then a book signing after.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it, and look forward to the Coachella set and the official release of the album.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having us.
It is Dreamcar. The album is self-titled, comes out May 12th. You're watching B-Sides on Air.